dating culture has changed big time to where we're only staring at a picture of somebody online and not getting to see their aura and see their mannerisms and how they talk to people and how they treat people. You don't get to see or know any of that. You only know from a picture. And so I think naturally, in the same vein, so many freaking girls must have a hard time also. And I think the guys are being like, woe is me, women are so mean. Guys have been mean to women forever, literally since the dawn of time. So I don't know. I feel like I get where this is coming from. Dating is hard for both men and women. I'm not saying it's just one-sided, but I'm saying it's coming out right now that women are harsh on men when men have been harsh on women since Adam and Eve. I want to tell you about something that you might have already heard of. Tell me if you know what this is. But I was watching a TikTok that was talking about passport bros. And it was saying passport bro. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I love this. So for the people that haven't heard, passport bros are men that are moving overseas to find easier women to date, more like submissive women, and women seen as more traditional because American women are too opinionated or too progressive for these men. So they're hopping overseas, dating women internationally. They're, I mean, it's insane that this is like a real stereotype that's happening.
Yeah, it's totally insane. So I follow someone on TikTok called Digital Bromad.
Nice.
First off, that's a great handle.
So good.
So this is where I learned about the term passport bros. And basically, he said that he's not a bad looking guy. I wouldn't say that he's like the next Brad Pitt or Bradley Cooper, but he's not a bad looking guy. And he's moved overseas, and every 30 days, I believe, he jumps to a different country. And he's been documenting his dating. And basically, he's labeled himself as a passport bro. And his thesis are, first, when you're overseas, whether this is right or wrong, Americans are considered exotic. Now, I did hear this from a friend who did a study abroad in Australia, and he was basically like, women in Sydney love American men.
True.
So I guess that in South America and in Thailand and Asia, this trend basically continues. So he said that Americans are considered exotic, but here's the thing, here's the pro of, on the surface, you could say like, oh, this is gross. And there's a lot of criticism of the passport bros. People say that they can't get American women, so they're jumping overseas, yada, yada, yada. But his points about dating are very solid. So I want to list some of them and see if you disagree with any of them. You ready?
Sure. Yes, hit me.
Okay. Going on dates internationally is more fun. Would you say that's true or false in your experience? You've actually dated internationally.
I'd say it's very fun. It's a lot of fun.
More fun than going on dates than in America?
Kind of, yeah. I feel like you're already kind of in that mindset, though, of being on vacation where, like, you go to the grocery store and it's fun,
So Digital Bromad, here's what he says. He says, dating internationally is just straight up more fun. And here are the reasons. First, women on dates love showing off their country. They have something to show you and introduce you about their country. So there's more things built in to talk about. So
True.
Right off the bat, there's just more to explore. The surface area of where you can go on the date, like conversation-wise, is larger. The second one is the women love asking about America. So because America's media is far-reaching, they just love asking about American movies and music and what life is there. So these first 2 points, would you have any disagreement with that?
No, I would say, I mean, from my experience specifically in Sydney, from living there, from going on a little trip, I think that people think Americans are like ahead of the curve in a way. And it's because of all the resources that we have. And we have a ton of people. And like you said, our American media, our American news is more widely spread than any other country in the world. People ask questions like my friend Pia always asks about the South. She's like, are there just alligators running all over Florida, just all over the place? Do people just talk like this and wear cowboy hats everywhere? And I'm like, in all of America? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, no. Like, I think the,
That's a no.
I think it's so silly, the stereotypes that people think. I mean, same thing about Sydney. People think that there's kangaroos jumping around downtown Sydney where the Opera House is. Like, no, that's not how it works. But we kind of get these misconstrued ideas, right? And it sounds more fun that way. And when people ask me about America, or they're like, have you been to Disney World? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, wow. And it's just not, it's just, it's not all that. But people who live in Sydney would say the same thing about the Opera House. They're like, it's just a building. So I would say, yes, both of those are totally true. And I can completely see how that could get this dude some women.
Yeah. And then he basically said that there is an idea that Americans have a lot of money, which definitely does not hurt on dates. Now, how he approaches it is kind of interesting. He basically says, because America's currency is the global reserve currency of the world, and this guy's traveled all over, he basically says that the dollar goes like 2 to 4 times as far in some countries than it does in the United States. So you could make $60,000 in America, but live a similar lifestyle of someone making $120 to maybe even $180 or $200,000 overseas. So the types of things on dates that you can do, way more fun, right? And I think that makes dating a little bit easier when it's like, sure, I'll pick up the bill because my currency conversion is so awesome that, this is like a $11 meal. It makes jumping around a little bit easier. So the idea that Americans have more money, I think that helps dating, no?
Yeah, I'd say it does. I mean, especially, not to be sexist here, but I think especially if you're a girl trying to go on a date with a dude you don't know, yeah, it helps if, they want to take you out to a nice dinner or whatever. But have you ever heard the term sex pat?
No, I haven't. But it's like expat, but you're just going there to.
Okay, so I'm reading Urban Dictionary because I've heard of it, but I wanted to get it right, and there's nothing more accurate than Urban Dictionary. A sexpat is anyone who moves to another country for the main reason of obtaining easier sex, which is what this is. This is a passport bro. The little example sentence at the bottom. Steve can work online and has now permanently moved to Thailand. He's become a true sexpat. So this kind of is in line with our passport bro concept. It's like, well, all these American girls are like thinking they're hot shit, so I'm going to go to England and flaunt my American accent around and see what happens.
Do you think that it's fair that American women get kind of tweaked and are upset about this?
No.
No.
I think it's ridiculous. Like, do you want to date the dude that's going over there to do that? No. Don't get upset about it. Whatever. You want guys to stick around here, and like the type of guys that are doing this, the passport bros, I don't think they should be getting upset about anything. If anything, it just siphons out all the losers.
It's interesting that you say losers because head over to the comment section. So I'm going to stick up for the men here.
Oh, no.
If you head over to the comment section on some of these videos, the comment section on these videos is a straight up war zone. People are going crazy. Women are calling men losers, just kind of like how you low-key did. And then there are a lot of guys in the comments, and I just read one right before we started the pod, but it was a clip of a woman talking about how these are not men that we want in our dating pool anyway. And the comments are just absolutely nuts. Some of the guys are actually like decent looking guys, and they have decent like remote first jobs where, they make between 80 and 140 grand a year, and they just live in Thailand or Southeast Asia or South America.
I get where you're going with this.
the comments are kind of sad. So there's multiple men in the comments that there's this one guy that says, I live in the United States. I own my own house. I make over $100,000 a year. I have 20 acres of land and I have no student loans and I cannot get a girlfriend to save my life. And I clicked on his profile and he's not a bad looking dude.
He's hot,
So
Jimmy.
he's not, I would say that it was actually surprising that he had trouble dating. And there are a lot of men just going through the comments and they're like, dating in America sucks. And it sucks because something that we talked about on one of our last pods is that the expectation of American women is so high for dating, and online dating basically has caused 10% of the men to get 90% of the women.
Yeah.
So most of the men are the people who are over 6 foot tall, have the illusion or truth that they can, have a decent job, that they have their stuff together. And most of the women go after those guys. They're in incredible shape. And so most of the men just end up dating, a few of the men end up dating most of the women. And so for a lot of the men, it makes it very hard. So they basically opt out of this free market capitalism style of dating. And they're like, this economy of dating is unfair for me and I can't work in it. So they jump overseas, and then women are tweaked by that. And I feel that it's a condition that maybe women had their hand in creating.
We are more judgmental than ever. I can feel it in myself every day. We are creating this culture. I totally agree with the comments also. I think that it has gotten a lot harder, and I think girls are upping their standards, and I think that all of this Tinder stuff, like, where's all this data coming from? Because I also feel like men used to just approach a woman in a bar and say, like, hey, I like the shirt you're wearing. Like, can I get you a drink? And they don't do that anymore because we have Tinder and we have Bumble, and like, dating culture has changed big time to where we're only staring at a picture of somebody online and not getting to see their aura and see their mannerisms and how they talk to people and how they treat people. You don't get to see or know any of that. You only know from a picture. And so I think naturally, in the same vein, so many freaking girls must have a hard time also. And I think the guys are being like, woe is me, women are so mean. Guys have been mean to women forever, literally since the dawn of time. So I don't know. I feel like I get where this is coming from. Dating is hard for both men and women. I'm not saying it's just one-sided, but I'm saying it's coming out right now that women are harsh on men when men have been harsh on women since Adam and Eve. So I don't want to freaking hear it. End of discussion. No, I'm just kidding. End of discussion.
There's a word that just happened for the audience live called transferrence. And it's when you're experiencing something in your real life and then you're putting it out on the people. Is that just what happened?
You think I'm projecting?
A little projection.
I think women have always had it harder for men, or harder than men. And if men...
I totally agree with you
men
there.
are feeling insecure at the fact that women have raised their standards, that's a them problem.
Sure, it is a them problem. But then men are also well within their free market rights to say, I'm dipping out of here.
They totally are. And you know what?
Everyone's free to do what they want.
I want some passport chicks to come out as well. You guys just bop out of America. You go find yourself an Italian man. That's all you, dude. I like it. I like the concept. I just wish it wasn't so bro-oriented. I wish they were just passport peeps that do this.
Honestly, this is a call for passport women, passport girls.
Passport chicks.
If you do live... Passport chicks. Okay, perfect. Hashtag passport chicks. If you are a passport chick, we would love to have you on the show. And if we can set it up with a passport bro and a passport chick, we would love to have the both of you on the show. We're not doing as many interviews anymore, but this would be one that I would dig into just because I like weird counterculture threads into like weird worlds, especially, this is basically travel, right? Like travel and dating are linked together. And so the fact that people are traveling and dating and choosing to live these alternative lives and kind of bucking up against society is super interesting. And if you know someone who's a passport chick or a passport bro, shoot Connor a DM and we would love to have you on the show. You know what I just saw come across my screen here?
What'd you say?
I saw a post by our dear friend, Sam Parr, and he says, okay, I guess Zuck is pretty cool now. And looks like a Facebook post, or maybe it's Twitter, of Mark Zuckergerg. And it says, I try to do the Murph challenge with the girls every Memorial Day as a tradition to honor those who defend us. One of Lieutenant Murphy's favorite workouts was running a mile, then doing 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats, and then running another mile, all while wearing a 20-pound weighted pack.
Jesus.
This year, Mark Zuckerberg got it done in under 40 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Zuckerberg is jacked?
Zuckerberg is jacked. Yeah, he has a 20-pound pack on this picture. He's not smiling in the picture. The face in the picture, I would say, let's just crack a smile. You're worth $30 billion, $80 billion. You have a little bit to be happy about. And you just ran, and did all that work. Do you think that you could do this? Are we doing the ConnerAnn Murphy challenge?
Oh, funny. Okay, I see the picture now. Okay, let me see if I could do it. Run a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and run another mile. Fuck. I suck at running. I could totally do 300 squats. I could never pull off 100 pull-ups. And I could never do 200 push-ups. I could do 200 push-ups over 2 weeks. I couldn't do it. No, that's absolutely nuts. Good for him. Shit.
Okay, are you telling me, you're in pretty good shape. Are you telling me that you couldn't do this? Mark Zuckerberg, billionaire Mark Zuckerberg is doing it in 40 minutes. You can't do this in 2 hours? I'm willing to basically do this challenge and produce it.
No. I can do 2 pull-ups consecutively. That's it.
Okay, now his little girls did a quarter Murph unweighted in 15 minutes. Could we take this and cut this in half and have you do it in under an hour?
Unweighted.
Unweighted. Yeah. I'm not trying to buy a 20-pound pack for this. Let's go low budget here to start.
Okay.
Can you do a half Murph unweighted?
I'll try for the pod.
Let's do it. Let's do it for the pod.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to take so much pre-workout. My brain's going to explode, but I can try.
Okay. 7:30 tomorrow morning.
Is pre-workout cheating?
No, it's not HGH, Con. Come on.
Wow. I just take a shot of rabies. Oh, man.
You just take a shot and you're just screaming, Zuckerberg, Zuckerberg, Zuckerberg.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Wow. We can try.
We'll try. Murph.
On the next pod, we'll record it right after. So we'll start the pod and then we'll see. We'll report back.
Yeah. Sam Parr, Mark Zuckerberg, you guys got Con and me. Maybe I'll try with you. No, that'll be embarrassing. You just put me to shame. I would never live it down.
Yeah,
and you
you're
would
the
never
cameraman.
let me. So
don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I can't participate. I'm filming. That's right.
Quiet on set.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set. Rolling. Pictures up. Oh my gosh. You guys, funny episode. Very random. We were talking sex pats. We were talking passport bros, passport chicks, which is new. But anyways, I hope you like this episode. So thank you guys for listening. We love ya. Submit any kind of questions or topics or anything you want us to talk about to hello@travelnerds.co. And I'll talk to you on Friday. Later, nerds.